When you went into the studio to do the albums, then Dave Friedman came in quite late, I guess, in the process. Why was he important? I mean, you had the ideas about the craft of songwriting and the weird noises.
We were really adamant at first about producing it ourselves when we were first talking to our A&R woman, and we kind of went in and started doing the demos and the songwriting, and we had these songs written and kind of arranged and demoed, and they just kind of really didn't sound the way we wanted them to, because we were using a $30 microphone and a little tiny inbox, and so we really needed someone who was got what we wanted to do and could make it sound, clear and nice and do it quickly and not try to make it, change the sound. And that's kind of, Dave was perfect for that.
What did you learn from him?
I think on a kind of, aside from some of the technical things, like just how to mix well and make things sound clear, which we learned a lot from him. We also, I think, learned a lot about just the personal parts of being in a band and dealing with success. And
he had a lot of advice for us at a time when we didn't really have a manager, and we were kind of in this new world of major label, kind of learning how to talk to people at a label, and he had a lot of advice for that, especially when we're writing an album and we know how we want it to sound and we don't want to change that.
Did he show you the Flaming Lips movie and said, "Look, guys"?
I still haven't seen that, which is a shame because I hear it's really amazing.
Yeah, it's really good part of it.
Yeah. We watched a lot of other good movies with Dave, though.
That was
Repo
kind of our activity. We would take a dinner time break, and we'd either cook something or get takeout and then watch movies on his laptop. We watched Repo Man,
fantastic,
and a heavy metal documentary.
Heavy Metal Parking Lot.
No, it wasn't that one. It wasn't as good.
I think it was actually a public television documentary.
Was he the one who chose the movies?
He's had this hard drive full of movies, and we kind of chose it together.
Yeah.
We watched What the Bleep Do We Know?
Yeah. What was that?
It's this kind of new agey thing. It's talking about the power of the mind and quantum physics and trying to tie all this stuff together, but it makes
we took from that movie is that if you have a bottle of water and you put a label on it it says love, and you concentrate your love onto the water, then it changes the molecular structure, right? Something like that.
So they say.
That's what hippie said in the movie. Yeah.
And then you should have a...
No, I don't think it does anything to you after that, but it's just cool that supposedly thought could change chemistry.
Have you heard the soundtrack to Repo Man?
Yeah.
Yeah. That movie's great.
Yeah. What made you... Because then there was a producer, it's the two of you, and then the producer, and then you decided not to go on your own when you performed live.
Yeah.
Or to use free other musicians.
Yeah.
Why?
We used to play live. We didn't really play. We would just have instrumental tracks and then sing on top of them. And when we made the album, we didn't really know what it was going to sound like before we started working on it. But it ended up sounding a lot more like a rock band and less like a computer. So
we really don't want to use any backing tracks live. We really wanted to try to make it all on the spot. And it took a while for us to get there, but I think it's starting to sound really good. Yeah.
You're really happy with the way it has turned out?
Yeah, I think we the whole band interacts with each other in a way it's not just me and Andrew and then these other random guys.
It was just me and Ben on tour. We've done that before and just ended up not talking for a while. That was kind of right before we didn't talk for 6 months. I'm just realizing. Yeah.
We went on tour twice and then we were sort of hanging out, but we weren't getting along that well.
Yeah. So you've already had this classical thing which happens to everyone who are in this sometimes bizarre situation about traveling 24 hours a day and having 1 hour gig and traveling, blah blah blah. And what happened with the two of you, or with the relationship?
It wasn't anything, one event or anything serious. It was kind of just, we were both, 6 months post-graduation, kind of not really knowing what the hell we were doing, and you just broken up with your girlfriend. I had a girlfriend, and she was kind of like frustrated that I was just living in her apartment without a job, that kind of thing. And so we were both in weird states and not knowing what was going to happen, and then we got really lucky.